Hello, my name's Elizabeth Jones,
I'm Calvin Kaplan.
and we're having another in our continuing conversations on biblical psychology. And Cal, I wanted to talk a little bit more about creation. And I know we have already spoken about it, but looking at the Greek gods and the Greek narrative of creation versus the biblical narrative, what can you tell us additionally about the Greek narrative of creation?
Well, they reduce the gods to superheroes, really. The gods become like people, as opposed to the biblical idea where people are supposed to try to act in a godly way. The gods in the Greek account just act like superheroes. They're not really in control of anything in the long run. By the time you get to the later playwrights like Aeschylus, the god Zeus himself is simply a pawn in the hands of fate and necessity.
That was exactly one thing I wanted to bring out. So if the Greek gods are pawns in the hands of fate and necessity, what is the ultimate power in the Greek cosmos? What has the most power?
This impersonal force of nature, sometimes it may be that the Furies control the fate and necessity, but certainly not the gods in any real sense. Gods can be at war with each other. Zeus may be the head god, but clearly, and Prometheus bound, Prometheus says that Zeus himself is a pawn. It's a fate and necessity. It's impersonal, and it's almost like things just happen because they're fated to happen. And really, since the gods don't have any real power, other than to be sort of like bullied people, you really can't pray to them. You can ask them to help in a given situation, I suppose, and if one God supports you as opposed to another God, but you really can't pray to them to overcome the forces of impersonal forces which they themselves are subject to. So, for example, we have in the Greek theogony this tremendous conflict between Father and Son, between basically gods,
Yeah.
Zeus and his sons, and Kronos and Zeus, between the gods and the Titans. And who determines that the Father-Son conflict is immutable? Well, Earth and Sky. Earth and Sky say that the Father-Son conflict is immutable, and in fact that's how the gods are born. Gods and Titans are born. They're mating of Earth and Sky.
Well, we've already discussed the very genesis of, now I'm speaking tongue-in-cheek here, of the Greek theogony, but I wanted
Or the
to
non-Genesis.
yes, the non-Genesis.
The anti-Genesis.
I wanted to just clarify one point. If fate and necessity are supreme in the Greek cosmos, that's a pretty impersonal force, and it doesn't sound like it cares for humanity or individuals at all.
Well, neither. I mean, it doesn't care for anything. It just impersonal forces. And what is fate? What is necessity? We use these words, but it's like a determinism. It's the ultimate determinism. You
Now-
can't do anything to change it. So maybe through some magic potion or something like that, and not through your own actions, not through prayer.
Now, I wanted to contrast with that what the biblical account of creation, what the biblical view of the cosmos is.
Well, God creates the heavens and the earth. I'm not even sure they have an idea of cosmos per se in the Greek. God creates the heavens and the earth, and so that means the heaven and the earth that we see around us was created by something beyond the heavens and the earth, which in a way is super modern. So
It could have been created by a Big Bang if God had so decided that it was a Big Bang.
But that big God, that Big Bang, maybe God's way of creating is not inconsistent with this biblical idea of creation. But with the ingenuity of it is, the radicalness of it, is when you're in a water, you don't even see that there's something that exists beyond the water. You're trapped in that water, and the imagination of the biblical thinkers that this thing that they are immersed in itself is created by something beyond that. That requires some great
real
imagination and independence, it seems to me. Independence of thought. That's real creativity.
And that is a very distinctive thought that the writers of the Hebrew Scriptures could come up with, these concepts that
They're amazing.
very early on.
They're amazing.
And we're going to continue with more conversations in biblical psychology later on.